Hi, welcome to today's video. My name is Paul. So this week, a little bit different. I'm doing two videos this week. I haven't done that for a long time. This short video is just going to be me talking about a couple of pieces of art I made for an art competition. The art competition is being organized by a guy on YouTube, an artist on YouTube. And the idea behind the competition is to combine a self-portrait and a still life into one image, one painting. And it's open to interpretation. The style is pretty much whatever style you want. And same with media, whatever medium you like to use. So it's quite an open competition, at least in theory anyway. So this little video, I'm going to show you two pieces of art that I created for the competition. Before we do that, just a minute or two, I want to explain a little bit about thinking behind the art that I made. So when I heard that prompt, self-portrait and still life, the thing that first popped into my mind was a piece of art by this guy that you can see on screen. His name was Redon, French artist. He was kind of a surrealist painter before surrealism became a thing. He did do some, if you like, more mainstream painting, and you can see on the right one of his floral still lifes. He used soft pastels a lot. One of the reasons why I like some of his artwork. Some of his artwork, on the other hand, was a bit disturbing. On the left you can see he did a lot of these sort of spiders with human heads or human faces. But it was the image on the right that sprang into my mind, sort of popped into my mind when I heard that prompt. And in this one, it is a still life. It's an egg in an egg cup, but the egg obviously has a human face. So that's one way of combining a self-portrait and a still life. Another painting that I thought about was a painting by Gauguin. It's a bit like a Cézanne painting. Those apples are very reminiscent of Cézanne's paintings. But this one was by Gauguin, and you can see in the background there's this little sort of jug with a human head. So again, another way of combining a self-portrait into a still life painting. So I say I did two pieces of art. One of them is so-so. The other one, I did try to go along these lines of Redon or Gauguin's artwork and combine those two things together more closely. So now I'll show you the artwork that I made. Okay, so the big challenge for me was the self-portrait part of the competition. Portraits are not something that I do. It doesn't really fit into the type of art that I'm making. Yes, sometimes I do people, but they're usually just from imagination. And certainly I don't have the skills to do a portrait, an accurate portrait or a self-portrait. So it was tricky. This was definitely the trickiest part. I've edited this video because to record and show you the full thing would have taken more than the video would be at least 24 hours long. It was at least a day it took me to try and get something that was reasonably accurate in terms of being a portrait. I used digital media rather than any sort of traditional media, just because I can create I can experiment and try different things with the digital, and I'm not going through lots of paper. And of course, as I said before, with the digital, you can always change colors and make things bigger, smaller, change the orientation, so on. It's good for experimenting. So I created this little floral still life, and then I decided I would take that head, that self-portrait that I created, and put it into the flowers. As I say, this is kind of going back to the Redon or even the Gauguin style still lifes, where they sort of combined a portrait into the still life in some way. And that was the idea behind it. It is a bit weird, but it's it's different, I guess. I then also produced a second piece of art. This was more, it's not as weird, maybe. It's not as out there. But it's just, again, that self-portrait with a small floral still life. And I tried to arrange the flowers in an interesting way, maybe, sort of half hiding the self-portrait. So I say these are the two pieces of art that I've created for this competition. It was an interesting experience. I don't often enter art competitions. In the last 5 years, this is maybe the second one. So it's not something I do on a regular basis. But it did force me to step out of my comfort zone. And it did force me to reconsider the sort of things that I talk about in these videos on this channel. And whether or not, as an artist, you should learn to draw. Is it absolutely necessary? Can you make art without spending years learning to draw? In terms of portraits, self-portraits, you kind of have to be able to draw, I guess. But anyway, that's a subject for another video, I think. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching and listening. As I say, I will be producing another video on Saturday, just as normal. This was just a one-off in the middle of the week.